white chocolate shake,
Okay.
protein shake. I have it every morning.
Oh,
Good for you.
better fix the volume. You want
And my coffee by my side.
to?
Yeah, me too.
Two-fister.
Well, that time it was gray. I kept saying, "Where's the sun? Where's the sun?" Now the sun's here. I closed the shades because I can't see.
Well, it's too hot.
I
All of
know.
a sudden now it's the middle of summer.
I know. That's the way it happens. One day it just
Oh, I can't stand it. I
When I
just
got
like
up-
spring. I like spring.
got up this morning. I was soaking wet. I was like, this is ridiculous.
It is. I tried to pull some weeds yesterday and I'm like, oh, this isn't working.
Yeah, it was. We still have to shore up those paintings.
I know. Maybe tonight we can do that.
Yeah. Oh, no, not tonight.
This afternoon.
Maybe. Tonight's the ribbon cutting at the Da Vinci Center.
Oh, nice.
I'm so mixed up on my days. Ah,
Hey, this is the earliest I've ever been to one of these.
I don't think Bill will be here. I had a note from him last night. Apparently they're back from Greece, but they brought COVID with them.
Oh, no.
So
Mm.
wasn't sure. In fact, I need to get my clipboard with the names. Not sure if he's gonna make it on the weekend. I guess that one's upstairs. Go see if it's in
Did you
here.
start the recording?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. If I say any bad words, don't put them in the
Okay.
transcript.
Yeah, I must have left that upstairs.
Wanna go get it?
No, it's fine.
I'll get it. You don't tell me what it is.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's the other clipboard that has the names for Mayfair. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
So how many trees did they plant?
105.
Wow.
It was a great,
It's a lot of trees.
it was a great
It was.
morning. It was really a great morning.
And it was raining.
That's pretty much all it did here for the last month was rain.
Yeah, it was a good event. It was. They had everything well organized.
All the holes were dug.
Yeah,
They were actually drilled by a post hole driller. You just put the tree in it and then you put the dirt around the tree and stamp
Oh,
the
that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
tube on top to protect it from the deer.
Wow, that's great.
So everybody that we talked to from AWRC and from Allentown all said, what a great event. They want to come back and do it again next year. So,
Wow.
yeah. And again, you had like a light sprinkle. It wasn't like you were getting rained on.
Right,
Kind of a light sprinkle. So it was more annoying than really.
right.
just enough to get you wet
Yeah.
and get the grass wet.
Sure.
But I guess that was better. I mean, we didn't
It's
have any.
good for the trees, I would
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. So Peter went back on Sunday to check and make sure that all the trees were properly planted. And he found one that had a tube that was loose.
Oh, no.
So I think he'll be going back there every day to see
Yeah, he
the
took
trees.
his dog to walk there rather than where he normally takes him.
So it's a nice park.
It's a beautiful park.
I was never back there where the stream is. So we always
That's
just do
either.
the playground part, so.
They have 2 baseball diamonds there.
Wow.
They were both in use while we were there. A lot of cars because of these 2 baseball games.
It's good to use the facilities.
Yep, it is.
So they had some very professional people there, environmentalists, to make sure that we were doing everything right.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
Every hole had a tree, had a little flag at the hole that was color coded. Then the trees, they had like 5 or 6 different species. They were color coded as well. So you took like a blue plant, and put in a blue hole, took an orange plant, put in an orange hole, so you knew where to plant what.
Wow, that's really organized. That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
It was.
And then the tubes were different sizes, so then you had to match the tube to the right tree.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
Mhm.
And Helen, wow. Peter had walked across the stream to get to the other side because we had to plant on the other side. She walked right across the stream too, but she couldn't get up, so she had to use her shovel to get up the hill.
Oh my gosh.
It's one of the pictures, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah.
It's funny.
When I first heard this, I did not believe it.
Sorry, my phone just turns on all by itself sometimes.
Herb,
Good morning, Marlene.
good morning.
Morning,
Thought you'd be in the air by now, Herb.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
He's as mixed up as I am.
Yeah, let's say.
Okay. We've been up since midnight.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the middle of the day. I just had lunch.
Oh, good. Oh, that's good. So it's working.
Well, sort of. I kind of was dragging about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
When you come home, are you gonna do the same thing, slowly shift back to,
I don't think we can.
okay.
We're just trying to make sure we maximize our fun when we're there.
Yeah, I understand that.
So, you know, when we come back, I don't think we'll be able to do this.
We'll just be dropping down every occasionally.
So it'll be a rough week when we get back. But that's okay.
Morning,
Just
Amir.
good morning. Just make sure you don't chew any gum there, Herb.
Yeah, don't worry. I don't like gum, so we're
Yeah,
good.
okay. And and don't take any sleeping pills.
Oh, no. Oh,
You'll be in jail, man.
What do you mean, don't take any sleeping pills?
No, I was just joking. You know, before you get to Singapore, they give you a form that you have an ounce or epsilon of any of the kind of the illegal drugs, you'll
Oh,
be
really?
sentenced right away, and you sign your life away before you land.
Oh, really? Mhm.
Yeah. But their subway system is perfect.
Mhm.
They have one of the cleanest subway systems. The whole city is very clean.
Mhm.
all right. Well, I guess we should get started. We'll call this meeting to order. And first thing I'd like to do is have approval of the March and April minutes. Everybody has reviewed the minutes.
Yes,
Would anybody make a motion to approve the minutes?
I make the motion.
Okay,
I'll second it.
thank you. And they are on our Club Runner site. So that's done. Little update on our in-person meetings. As you know, this week is a Zoom because Cedar Crest is closed because of Mayfair. And we were there last Friday. They were getting ready for Mayfair. Redoing all the poles, painting all the poles, putting mulch down, etc. And then I had a notice on Friday afternoon that the June 12th meeting would also be a Zoom meeting because there is a presidential event. So we will be able to use Cedar Crest on the 12th. So we will have a Zoom meeting that day as well. Okay, Amir, any update on our Vanguard account and the work you've been doing?
You know, Vanguard account has been, our return this year has been 5.8%. And I think we have deposited the $5,000 donation that we receive. If I'm not mistaken, we have about 53,000 change. I haven't checked this morning in the bank, and nothing else has changed.
Okay, but anyhow, the check has been deposited successfully.
Yes,
I know
yes,
that was a long process.
yes.
So I don't see Lori on. She comes on later. We'll have her report. So Gary, financials.
Here we go. Hopefully this is a long financial report I need to give people. I'm going to read this because it's long and it's complex. John Scott has worked diligently to find an accounting firm to create a financial statement for us that satisfies the BCCO requirements. That's the Pennsylvania Bureau of Corporate and Charitable Organizations. John previously noted that as soon as the tax season is over, he believes that he will be able to retain a firm for us to not only do our BCCO filing for this year, but BCCO and IRS filings going forward. We have retained Campbell, Reppold, and Eurosits LLP, which represents the gold standard of accounting firms in Allentown. As you know, AWRC prides itself on being willing to share its 501c3 across multiple charitable Rotary projects. Over time, that number has increased dramatically. As of today, AWRC Foundation has a total of 14 bank accounts across 3 financial institutions. That total encompasses 3 major project groupings. Number 1, I'm calling the AWRC Foundation's traditional projects, and these are things like food insecurity projects, snack packing, food pantries, Rotoplast, shelter box, bike projects, kindergarten books, etc. And Vanguard. The second grouping I'm calling the EWB Rotary Grants projects, and these are the Sierra Leone projects that are done in conjunction with EWB and are also generally supported by Rotary grants. And these include the International Project, the Sierra Leone School Maintenance and Scholarships, as well as the SLOIC, which is a trade school project we have going on right now. And finally, the STEMIA and STEMIA scholarships. So that's a separate big category. We do have a Mongolia 2121 project, but that's very small and it only has a few $100s in it. So I'm kind of putting that off to the side. Now, as our financial picture has become more complex, the regulatory requirements have become more stringent. And unlike the IRS, which allows us to file our taxes directly, the Pennsylvania Bureau of Corporate and Charitable Organizations requires a certified public accountant to provide our financial institutions, our financial statements. I'd like to insert several derogatory negative comments about BCCO, but I'll let you do that in your imagination. I won't out those comments. With the filing of the independent accountant's information and the completion of a 10+ page form, we have the privilege of paying BCCO $150 for a license to legally collect charitable contributions in Pennsylvania. Therefore, as noted before, we have retained Campbell, Reppold, and Eurosits LLP to provide accounting and tax services for the AWRC Foundation. They have proposed Jason Surfass, who's a CPA and partner, to lead the effort and working with staff accountants. The not to exceed price we have received from CRNY is for the 2022-2023 year, which is a BCCO year, $1,500.10 and $1,510. And again, that's for the BCCO filing only. For 23-24 year, which will end July 1st, they're proposing $1,570 for the BCCO filing and $875 for the IRS filing. It's interesting to note that the Pennsylvania filing, which is just to be able to pay them $150 to get this damn license, takes twice as much accounting cost as it does to file the IRS filing, which I think is interesting tribute to Pennsylvania. I'm proposing that, except for the Mongolia 2121, and that's because they only have a few $100s in that account, we ask each project grouping, and I gave you the 3, the AWRC baseline, the EWB global grant projects, and the STEMIA projects, pay a portion of these costs based on the amount of money that they have flowing through the foundation. Again, I excluded 2121 because they only have a couple $100s. The AWRC uses a foundation for a total of approximately $86,000. EWB Global Grant account is at approximately $42,000, and the STEMIA account is approximately $60,000. So for the year 22-23, the AWRC Foundation would pay $700 of accounting costs. EWB Global Grants would pay $330 of the costs, and STEMIA project would pay $480 of the costs. So that respectively, AWRC is paying 46% of the costs, EWB Global Grants are paying 22% of the costs, and STEMIA is paying 32% of the costs. So I like a motion that we split the costs and not have AWRC pay all the accounting fees. So can I have a motion?
Thanks. I motion.
Okay, seconded?
I'll second it.
Okay,
Okay, I'm sorry.
good.
Can we discuss this a little bit more?
No, you suggested somebody, John followed up with that person. They were not responsive, so we went with a firm who's did a first-rate job. And in fact, let me give you some background. They got the information about a week and a half ago. The deadline was the 15th at midnight. They worked around the clock to get the thing to us by 8 p.m. on the evening of the 15th. Gwen and I went over the information. We sent it to Pennsylvania at 9 o'clock on the 15th. So we made the deadline. We opened a bottle of champagne to celebrate. A day ago, I got a letter back from the Pennsylvania BCCO, and I will not comment on them again, rejecting our application. And the reason they rejected our application was because they said our Form 990 was not signed. Now, the Form 990, which is your income tax form, we sent to them exactly what we sent to the IRS. But it seems that Pennsylvania will not accept a DocuSign form. They want a live signature on a form. So although DocuSign was satisfactory for the federal government, for the Pennsylvania BCCO, that's not good enough. So, and by virtue of rejecting that, that means we have to pay them another $25 for the delay of the additional month, because it was midnight was a cutoff date. So we have since reprinted the 990, and we have since signed it and sent John a copy of the signed form. So that's then on its way back to Pennsylvania. So we should be clean and clear here by the end of the week. So that's where we stand right now.
So do you have a question, Gail?
Before we cut off all conversation, Gail, was that the issue you wanted to discuss, or is there another one?
I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm getting a feedback here. Hang on. Okay, do it that way. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know when we first took on STEMIer, that was kind of one of the things that kind of pushed us into needing all of this extra work. And John actually brought this up when we discussed this about that, that STEMIer should be paying. So there's some of that going on now that you're proposing. But
Right.
My understanding when we first started this process of doing this is that it was kind of like we're going to save the program, we're going to make sure that it goes through, but that it is a district program and that it should be eventually turned over to the district to manage. And that would take a lot of pressure off of us financially. And that's what Bob.
We're putting no dollars into STEMIer at all, other than the students that we send. There's no financial burden whatsoever.
Well, this would also apply to Engineers Without Borders projects.
Right.
Yeah, and our global grant.
And global grants. So
Right.
all of those projects, which have been in place for 10 years or more, that would also impact them.
Are we working at all with the district to eventually have them manage this?
Absolutely
The
not.
district
No,
would not want
no.
this.
No, the district foundation account is not designed for this.
No.
Basically, if we were going to do that, Gail, what we would have to do is we'd have to get the district to agree to create a new account that actually was designed to manage something like STEMIer. I can't go through the details with me in my head right now. But honestly, not sure that's worth it.
And of the 14 accounts that I referenced back there, only 2 are for STEMIer. The other 12 are either AWRC or EWB. So
Right.
even if we took those out, like the impact on cost for this accounting would probably be, $40 or something. I mean, it'd be very minor.
It's minimal.
Yeah.
So you're saying that because we used to be able to do the short form, and then after all this, we've had to do the long form. So you're saying that
Didn't say we have to do the long
international
form.
projects have also increased
Right. We're still
to
using
that level.
We're still using the short form. The big cost is a BCCO, which we had neglected to do for 3 years. And that's what got us in the jam with the state.
Yeah,
That's a big account.
it's not the short and the long form. That's
No,
not.
we're still doing the short.
Still doing the short form.
Okay.
That's the 990 easy.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still doing that. So it has
Okay.
nothing to do with the IRS. It has to do with regulations in Pennsylvania.
Got
for
it.
us to collect money as donations. So unfortunately, the regulations are becoming much more stringent. And because we didn't do it for 3 years, that's when the big problem occurred.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, now we're under a microscope.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So until we get out from under that microscope, we just have to.
Yeah. The other piece is because we didn't do it for the 3 years, as Herb said, we don't want to be audited. That's why we needed a really good firm that could take care of us. And they ate the cost of all the background stuff for this year.
Right.
So it really should have been a lot more expensive. So we were concerned in the beginning because we thought it might be like $3,000 for this year, but they did eat all the background cost.
Because we're a charity, we're a Rotary
Yeah.
organization. They gave
And
us
because
that.
we signed for the 3 years. So
Okay,
that was the agreement. So unfortunately.
All right,
it's not.
so did you needed a motion to, is there any other discussion before we?
No,
Well, that-
Diane and Amir both made motions,
Both agreed.
both,
Yeah.
Diana made one and then
Okay,
Amir,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
and those funds that are coming from those other things, do we have to get approval from the foundation? Like
No.
Cindy, something like that, or,
Need to get approval from STEMYA to pay this, which I don't think will be a problem. And EWB global grants, we collectively control, so that's not an issue there either.
okay,
And we did discuss this at length with Herb and with Chris.
okay.
So this has been an ongoing discussion, so I'm just happy that it's over because it's been a year and a half of, really significant work and a lot of worry. So,
Okay.
All right.
Vote.
Is there anybody opposed?
No.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. You guys never asked that question. I feel like we do need to ask that.
oh, we could
That's-
ask that question. That's a
absolutely.
good question.
Absolutely. I sent you a copy of Chris's budget for 24-25. There are errors in it, as multiple people have identified. By promised Chris I would send it out as he sent it to me. Please send me your comments. I've gotten comments from multiple people, and those comments will all be incorporated into the budget for Chris's review when he returns. And again, as I mentioned, you have to send in your requests for funding if there's something you want to fund for next year. Multiple people have doing that, including Gail, I think was probably the first. So in terms of requests for dollars for next year, those requests are coming in right now, and they'll be reflected in what Chris reviews when he gets back as well.
I did have one additional request. I did send you a couple of comments, Gary.
Yes.
One additional request, could we put on there what we think is going to be the starting balance in that account?
Yeah,
Okay.
can do that.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right, just so we have a feel for, where are we starting from, excluding, of course, the Vanguard, because we're not
Right.
trying.
Right.
But the operating accounts, I think that would be a good thing to,
Yeah, that's a good ad.
all right?
Any other requests?
Yeah, I just noticed on the foundation account for this month, I don't know, I guess I didn't pick up on it last month if it was there, but you have the 1,200 for Camp Neidig, and then it says remaining, and there's nothing in that spot, but there's no spending. I don't know if there's
They haven't spent yet.
but so there should be 1,200 remaining, which does not reflect there.
Oh, there's a typo. If you take a look,
So Camp Nine.
It's just-
in line 3, column E.
Yep.
Okay,
What shows as remaining, if you look at the headings, you have a 23-24 budget, that's a $1,200 to your point. Funds to be raised, we expect to raise any funds. 24-25 funds, that's the monies for next year. And for the $23-24 remaining, we're showing nothing remaining yet. That's because those are committed, but they haven't been paid out yet. So I can put them in there. They're not really remaining in the sense that we've committed those dollars, but
okay,
I'll fill that in. Thank you. That's a good catch.
And we do have 2 students, so that would be the number.
Mhm.
okay.
Okay, any other requests for information, comments, suggestions? Okay, anything else, Gary?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay, community service, any updates for snack packing? You had the final event. Everybody's
Nope.
happy?
We're back at it next year. I think we have commitment from Katrina to still help us out with some of the food, so that's great.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay. Impact Club, anything, Diana, that you would like to add on the Impact Club?
We're just very busy right now with about 4 of us from the group with the Youth Bike Summit. So that's a kind of our focus. Yeah, and that's the main thing. And of course, I think some of you know that we've got Karen Rogers is going to join, is going to switch her membership from the main club to the Impact Club. It was interesting what she told me. She said meetings just, well, I can't exactly remember the exact term, but clearly she just doesn't want to come to bi-weekly meetings. They're just not quite her thing, which is fine. So I guess this is a good maybe option for people that don't, they want to be part of Rotary, want to do service work projects within our club, but just that's not their thing.
Probably has enough meetings at work.
Yeah, very, very possibly.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad she's making the switch, and Michelle's aware.
Yeah. So thanks for recommending that, Gail. Originally I thought, well, does that really make sense if it seemed she just didn't want to be in Rotary anymore, but that wasn't necessarily the case. She just doesn't feel like the meetings are kind of fit her. So.
And it's another example of how an impact club can really help with retention.
Sure. Agreed. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Diana?
No, not on the Impact Club.
Okay. Do you need any more volunteers?
Oh, for the Youth Bike Summit.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I should put, yes, we will likely. Why don't I put, can I ask, I won't be around for the meeting tomorrow. Can I ask you to make a plug for that?
I already have it in my notes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't doing something I shouldn't
In
do.
fact,
Just
what
for
I
some
will, what was that, Gail?
Diana, that you had emailed or texted Ed about
Yes.
helping out. It
Yes.
wasn't clear to him if he needed to he doesn't want to drive kids, but that's not what you're
Yeah,
asking.
no, he won't have to drive
You're
kids.
talking about at the velodrome. that you'd
he'll be
be
actually on a
chaperone
bus.
for a group.
Yes. What I'll do, yes, I'll clarify that with him, Gail. What I'll do, Gwen, is I will send you an email with a link to a Sign Up Genius, but then
Okay.
also with a PDF for some of the workshops on Saturday, the event.
Okay.
It was a little too cumbersome to put those details in the Sign Up Genius, so I'll send you a PDF and
Okay. Good.
or just have people contact me as well.
I will, but we'll
Yeah.
do both.
We already have commitment from a couple people in the group.
Okay.
But yeah, more would be great.
Okay, great.
And you're going to use my bicycle, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Confirm.
Anybody has bikes, please raise your hand right now. I'll email you because I'm still on the hunt for more bikes.
Okay, Ernie says he has bikes.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he raised his hand.
Oh, I didn't see him there. I only see
I
6
have a bike, not bikes. I have a bike.
But you'll loan it out?
I will.
Okay, I'll send you an email. Ernie. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's actually even halfway decent,
Oh, good.
but only halfway.
Okay, I'll be in touch. Okay,
Sounds
thank you.
good. Okay, on Saturday, we worked with the Wildlands Conservancy and the Allentown Rotary Club to plant 105 trees. I've had a lot of feedback from our folks as well as the Allentown folks, and they would like to do a project with Wildlands again next year. It'll be a different project next year, and it will be more in the Allentown area. So we're going to go ahead with that. And of course, we're always looking for more volunteers. Herb, question for you. I'm going to request tomorrow that anybody who has any additional service hours for the month of May, provide them to me. And
Okay,
then I'll send you a summary, which will end with May.
all right. When you say a summary for
Of the last,
a
yeah,
month?
yeah, of the last couple months. I did send you one, I think, at the end of March.
Yes, I have through March. I
Okay,
need,
so I'll do April and May. Okay,
and I have them here, so if I'll wait then, I'll wait till I get back
right.
from Singapore. And then when I get back, I'll work through the Paul Harris's. for
Sure.
you.
Okay,
Okay,
sounds good.
all right.
Okay, anything else on community service? I don't know if Bill's on. I see an iPhone that's on, but I'm not sure who that is.
That's me.
Okay. Right, so you have 3 blocks up. You have your picture, you have Allentown West, and you have iPhone.
No, isn't the iPhone Amir?
Okay, the iPhone's Amir, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Bill, by the way, is back from Greece. I had a note from him last night, but apparently he now has COVID.
Oh,
Okay, Marlene, public image.
Well, I've started running the new ads for membership, and they are definitely getting seen. The first one had 15 impressions, the second one had over 200,
Wow.
Mhm.
and the third one is that just started, so that's it's close to 200. So those are picking up. Thank you to everybody who is sharing them, because that's what makes the difference.
As soon as I see it.
That's going along. Thank you. There are still a couple more to come out, and I will get at least one more out before I go away. Possibly I'll get the other one out while I'm away. Other than that, that's where I am at the moment.
Okay, and there is a new version of Club Runner coming out. A couple of us went to that
Yep.
webinar. So it looks like by sometime during the 2024-25 year, there's going to be significant changes to Club Runner, including a lot more that we can do with membership. So, and also
Yeah.
individual profiles. It looks like there's a lot more that will be possible. But of course, people will have to use Club Runner to get to those things.
Yeah, I still say I'll believe it when I see it.
I know, me too, but it looks good. Okay, we have updated the website to reflect changeover and also the Impact Club. So we have a whole new section there for the Impact Club, and we have a little blurb there about changeover as well. So we're trying to recruit a lot of people to come to changeover. Okay, fundraising. The chili cook-off was canceled, and we had a small picnic, which was good. It was a good time to be together. Michelle, do you want to tell us anything about the Iron Pigs fundraiser that we had on May the 9th?
Well, Ernie, myself, and Len all worked at the concession stand selling hot dogs and funnel cakes and deep fried Oreos and hamburgers. And we made it the full shift. I think it was like 4 hours, right, Ernie? And
It was 4 hours. Yeah.
and it was fun. It was actually not so bad. All we did was run the cash register. We couldn't touch any food because we're not certified from the health department. So that part of it was nice. We had a little runner. I had a little young girl. She was my runner for all the food. I took the orders, and there's no cash, so it's all credit cards, and it was a good time. It was a good time. It was just the three of us that made it. So they paid us $12 an hour. I didn't think that was too bad. If I was an 18-year-old, I'd like to have $12 an hour. So yeah, I thought it was a good event. I'd like to do it again next year. And I'd like to see more. I'm gonna be more actively recruiting people that are 60 and under, and see if we can't get a bigger showing, because it was fun. I had a good time. What do you think, Ernie?
I got yelled at 3 times.
I got yelled at. I used my cell phone. I got yelled at. I thought I was going to get fired, but he didn't fire me after all. Can't use your cell phone. All the kids were looking at me when I took a phone call. They're like,
well, now that we know more about it, I think, we can advertise what it is that you do. We had 2 folks who showed up and they were not happy with their task. So I think we need to do a better job of letting people know in advance what the task is. And we didn't know.
right, and we didn't know. We really didn't know what we would be doing. So
Right.
they didn't give us a whole lot of heads up, but
Right.
at least we know that's the worst I think you can do.
Yeah.
I don't know what other jobs they have, but that's probably the worst.
What was that?
Work in that concession stand.
No, but I'm saying what's the worst task that they didn't like doing?
Oh, I don't know, Gwen.
Oh, they just, the 2 who went and decided they didn't want to do it, didn't want to work at our cash register.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and now we know, so that's good.
I think they thought they were going to be umpires. I'm not
ultimately-
sure, but
It was easy. It was a little bit inefficient, and I had to really step down my outlook on efficiency
Mhm.
and
I
just
agree.
get through it.
Yeah, that's what Michelle said too.
I
Yeah,
agree. Yeah,
just push
I
through.
could. And I gave them some feedback, by the way. I
Okay.
did give them feedback. They need more fryers for funnel
Okay.
cake. So we're all good.
Okay. Well, that was fun. So Ernie, anything you want to tell us about the Field of Honor project?
No, we need to start having relatively a proper cadence on this project relatively soon, so that we can start making connections with people in the communities that we intend to invite to this. Most notably, police, fire, EMS, doctors, nurses, schools, scouting folks, anybody we intend to get involved, because they have the same planning schedule we do. If we don't get out of this in a year in advance, we're not going to be able to get it on their calendars, and it's going to take a little while to get the support that we need. Although it sounds like it's a relatively simple thing to get on board. We have to get permission to do it in a place. We have to get people on board with the idea, in and among all the other things they have to do. And there's just a tremendous amount of coordination. And so the point, and it's about to be summer. So schools are going to be completely out of pocket, and everybody's going to have something else on their minds every day for the next 90 days. So,
Can I ask a question?
sure.
Are you highly considering that area up near Ontalani?
Yep.
Is that like number one? Gwen, have you connected him to Bill Delaker at all?
Not yet, not yet.
That would be a really good person to
Right,
talk
that's- we have
to. And
talked about.
Bill actually was interested in joining our club a while back, and I know he wanted to get through the whole election process with his son Kevin. But now that that's behind him, that he might actually be interested in joining our club. It could be really instrumental in helping get this going.
Yep.
He created that new memorial that's up there. Like he
Okay.
was a big part of that. So
Again, site selection has not been made yet. We don't really have a place. We have an idea that we want to have it on or near Ontalani Park. And then if we want to have a DOD flyover, if we want to have skydivers, I have those people waiting to talk to me, but the people I talk to will not be the people doing it. They'll connect me to people locally to that area who will be the people doing it. And so again, all of this stuff just takes time. And we have to get involved with the people who have the flags. We have to get logistics around getting the flags and assembling the flags and all of that stuff. It's a tremendous amount of effort, and the sooner we get started, the better it's going to be. Gwen, I know we talked about having a cadence to meetings, but that cadence should probably start here really soon.
Okay.
So, I mean, I remember the first year we did Tempting Tastes. We put together Ernie, I'm assuming you're gonna chair the committee?
I am, yeah.
Okay, I remember Gwen and Gary chaired the committee, and when we started out, because it was something new, we had 20 people, as I recall,
Yes.
on the committee to do, each of these different tasks that you're referring to. And maybe we need to start talking about it, at meetings and figuring out when we could have a kickoff.
Yeah, I can't imagine any less than 10 people besides myself being involved. And
Right.
then there's going to be a kind of a fork where each of those 10 people is talking to 2 or 3 people. And then those people are talking to people in the community, media, social media. We're going to see exponential growth in the number of conversations that are going to take place. We're going to need a lot of people working on this simultaneously.
Understood.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Ernie, do you have any type of Microsoft project or any type of, written timeline? Have you put anything like that together? Do you plan to do anything like that you can share with us so we know?
I don't have anything. I don't know that it requires something of the level of Microsoft project, but there's all kinds of simplistic ways of laying out a project. I mean, you can use Microsoft Excel, to be really honest. I don't know that I would do that, but something like that's going to be necessary to lay out the timeline and to see when things begin to get in a bind. And it delineates who does what.
Right.
I'm stepping into Gwen's space. I'm trying not to step into Gwen's space, but we are going to need frankly, it's one thing to chair an event. It's quite another thing to project manage an event. And those are typically two different people. So we're going to need chairs of these various subcategories to drive this. So that is coming up. So thank you for volunteering.
No. No, I'm not volunteering to project.
So
management.
well, I mean, as a starting point, can you put together a short list of the major tasks, the major things, and
Yep.
maybe Gwen and we can start announcing and say, we're gonna have a kickoff meeting on this day. And, that's how we get going. And I suspect this is a new project. This is exciting. You'll get your 10 or 15 people that you need.
Yeah. And remember, the whole point is to bring the community together, and community is one of those words that we need to define. And it's however we want to drive this project to bring people together. And so in my mind, community means it's a big pot of people. It's a widely cast net of people that we want to bring a lot of people together. And so I would intend that we have that represented in the committee that does this work.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll make an announcement tomorrow that there'll be more information coming. So at least we'll kickstart that part.
Okay.
Okay, Gail, we talked about a fundraising and community service activity with Arts Quest at Grange Park in August. Can you give us an update on that? So Gail, you still there?
She's muted.
Something quick. What did you say?
You had talked about having a fundraising community service activity with Arts Quest at Grange Park in August.
Oh, no, we discussed this at last meeting. That was not something that we were going to be moving forward with. It wasn't a good date for anybody.
Okay, so that's off the table. All right. Herb, membership.
Okay, well, as everybody saw, we have 2 new applications. Are we also going to get a third, or we don't know that yet?
Julie is talking with her manager. She was just moved to Bethlehem, so she's finding out if she can make the meetings based on her new schedule. So more to come on that one.
Okay, all right, and I guess we're targeting the changeover as the date to
Yes.
induct these 2 new members. So that's exciting. Fortunately, we're never going to get to meet them, but oh well.
Sean's coming tomorrow, and I think Renee's coming again tomorrow. Sean and Renee have both been to the Allentown Club as well, so we've met them there.
Well, I mean, at least you can have them say something on Zoom. I
Right,
guess.
and they did come to our last meeting, both.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's me who can't come to meetings, I guess.
Right.
Okay, let's keep going here. The other one is, I think we should just agree that Bianca is no longer a member and ask Michelle to drop Bianca from the rolls.
Yeah, she has a new job and she's not able to attend our meeting.
So Michelle, could you do that? Okay, thank you. Yeah, don't wait till June 30th.
Yeah, right.
Just drop from the rolls. I don't know if there's any others that we need to drop from the rolls that we know of at this point. I know we're going to be sending out the dues notices very soon, and then we'll know, but is there
And
anything we're aware of?
Michelle, when you send out the dues notice to Karen, it will be at the impact rate.
Yes,
Yes.
we've already discussed that, yes.
Okay. And then, yeah, I thank you, Gary and Peter. Peter was telling me all about it, getting the system set up so that you'll be able to accept electronic payments for dues. So, and if there's anybody who's behind on dues, Michelle, let us know. Is there anybody? I mean, I think you said there was one person, one impact.
There is.
Yeah.
I'll have to get you that name.
I think that was Stephanie Wexler. I'll get to her. You had sent me an email about
You
that.
sent an email with Stephanie Wexler I'm not sure what happened there. She's a very active member. So that doesn't kind of make sense.
Well, she just may have forgot to, to do it her. That's
Yeah,
all.
right.
Yeah.
I sent
I'll-
reminders, so you know.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
And
Mhm.
okay, I'll follow up with you. Okay, but you're sure it's her, or maybe should we check?
No, it's Stephanie.
Okay, then I'll be in touch with her. Okay.
And you know that it's the right email.
It didn't get returned.
It's like Wexler Stephanie at something.
Yeah. I'll reach out to her.
Okay. All right. The charcuterie event, Helen was supposed to reach out to Michelle about that.
We talked briefly at the picnic,
Yeah,
and Helen's gonna go ahead and reach out to the lady and try to get something scheduled. I don't know if it'll happen as soon as July. It might be
Alright.
August.
that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Our next membership committee meeting is in June. It's the third
May 15th.
Wednesday, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not,
or
it's
Ju-
not
I'm
May
sorry.
15th. It's
June
some-
15th.
sometime in June.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, it should be June 19th.
Okay. And the Mayfair update, that's Gwen, I think, did we already discuss that or no?
We didn't, but I sent a note out to everybody last night telling them what I know. So
Okay.
we're gonna have a short meeting after our meeting tomorrow, just to discuss any questions, etc.
Okay. And then the multi-club mixer, as Gail mentioned, is not likely to happen, at least not in August. And the Taste of Kutztown event, I think you had mentioned at our last membership meeting that's unlikely to.
I'm gonna be at the Taste of Kutztown volunteering, and, but no, it really requires the leadership of all the different clubs to really be coming together and wanting to do this. There was interest, but, I'm certainly not gonna be like, forcing it. It has to be something that is, the leadership wants to do, so.
Understood. There are certain areas in our district where clubs naturally work together on a lot of things. Our area, it's sort of hit and miss, I guess is the way I would call it. I know we're working with the Allentown Club right now on a variety of things, but getting 4 or 5 clubs together isn't something that seems to be part of our culture, at least not yet. So, and that's it.
One piece that you skipped over, Michelle's not able to use the membership application form. So
Oh.
I've tested it with a couple other people, but it doesn't work on her Chromebook.
Okay.
So.
Well, I do have an action item, which I will get to,
Okay.
which is to simplify that membership application form.
Okay.
And I will, because there's a lot of duplication on there, and there's a lot of Rotary jargon, which I want to try to get out of it, but I
That won't
haven't
make it-
had a chance to do
He's
that.
gonna shorten it and change
That
it.
will make it work in a Chromebook.
We don't know that yet.
No, I don't know that has anything to do with the Chromebook, but I do have that action item, and I do have an Adobe license, so I am able to do, so.
One other piece for membership, we have been invited to the changeover for the Allentown Club. That's going to be on June 29th, and it's going to be at Cedar Crest. So if anybody's interested in that, you just go to the Allentown Rotary Club website and you can register there.
Mhm.
Okay. The only thing I have for international projects is the Mongolia 2121 fundraiser scheduled for June 15th. So we're working on that. Herb, do you have anything else to add on international?
Not that I can think of. Diana, can you think of anything?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Okay, youth services. Gail, can you give us an update on Francesco? I know he's a busy guy right now.
Francesco's gonna be heading off to California soon, so kind of his birthday trip that they're taking him on. So he wasn't able to do the West Coast trip. So, but this is kind of in lieu of that. They're gonna have a really great time. So all that's been taken care of as far as paperwork, and We just are, we're moving forward with our student from India. And I can actually share some of that information with you, Gwen. So if you want to, if you want to have that, and Chris got his clearances now too. So I can get that sent over. So, but really exciting to have a student from India. That's the first. So, yeah, everything's moving along with that.
And Gailey mentioned the other day that all of his weekends are taken up, and the only time he can really meet with us is maybe a lunch on June the 3rd. So I don't know if you have reached out to them again, but that was what she told us on Sunday.
We were just waiting for Chris to get back, as you had mentioned. You wanted to, so Chris can weigh in on that, and I will email Chris because he probably will get emails.
Right, he's getting email, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it would be, maybe we could get that solidified before tomorrow so we can announce it at the meeting tomorrow. If we could get that date and time. I don't know that lunch was on the 3rd. I think it was dinner on the 3rd.
Well, as of Sunday, she said there were no dinners left because Sue wanted to take them to dinner, and that was what she said, but check in with her again.
Okay.
So, because Sue was asking, could they take Francesco out for dinner, and Gailey said no, all the dinners are taken. And
Who asked that?
Sue Weber.
Okay. Huh.
That was the
Okay.
discussion on Sunday, so maybe, I don't know, check with her again.
Okay, I will.
Okay, and we're okay for next year as far as the Northwestern Lehigh Interact. You said Amy's going to be working with Jean.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay,
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amy, but my understanding is Amy's gonna be in charge of the snack pack, not Jean.
Yeah, she'll
I
handle
hope
that
that's
meeting.
true, 'cause
But
that-
there's the other person that they've been talking to, that's a retired teacher
Yep,
who could be taking over. I have not met her yet. Have you, Gwen?
Oh, no, I have not.
Okay.
We're leaving that in Jean's hands and your hands. Okay.
so Michelle, then for now, we're gonna, I assume we're gonna leave Jean as a member of our club,
Mhm.
right? And no dues.
No dues.
She's still the advisor, so her and Lori, right? Okay.
Okay, I did send out at Nicole's request, I did send out information about the Camp 9 barbecue and chicken dinner. And we did have 2 individuals who said they were interested. So both of them said they had never been invited to that before. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So perhaps we'll have a couple people show up at the barbecue and or chicken dinner.
Who is that, Gwen?
It is Lori Peters. She said she had never been invited, and Jean Mockmer.
Oh, good.
So we'll see.
So, interesting. Yeah, and I guess, is this the first or the second year with the new leader?
First,
First year,
and they
so,
have 98 students.
so
and-
it'll be different.
Yeah, it's going to be completely different. And tomorrow, Thursday night, there is a Zoom meeting with the parents and Steve. Steve is the new director. Yeah,
Okay,
so taking a little bit different approach.
all right.
So that's
Do
good.
we definitely have that all sent out to, who's in that meeting? Our students that are going, and they know that?
The parents
The parents.
and Steve, the director. Yes,
Okay, so our parents definitely are gonna be on that call.
that's what I hear from Nicole, and that's what I hear from Steve.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, STEMIA, we have 55 names. So we're working through the rest of the waivers and medical forms. We do have 5 teachers this year, and we are recruiting interns. So if you know of any college students who are interested in interning, please let us know. Gary is now in charge of volunteers. So if you know anybody who wants to volunteer, please let Gary know. So that's going well. And you do not need a clearance. You do not need the FBI clearances if you are just coming during the day.
Right.
So that's a change.
And again, the key, if you want to volunteer, is go to the website under volunteers and sign up on the website, and that will then, and answer the questions in that form, that will then get you entered and set up to go.
Okay, district grants. So I know we had a change in our district grant. It's been updated. Instead of doing the work with the what John had suggested, that the in the parks, we're gonna do something different, right, Diana? We're gonna change
Yep.
that grant so that there's signage
Yes.
at the recent work that the Impact Club did.
Well, yeah, actually, it's more than, not so much just the work the Impact Club did, but the Keck Park location of Community Bike Works is a little bit of an orphan. And they're in an old Park District building that used to be I can't remember what it used to actually be, but they really lack signs, and people just don't even know what's in the building, and then we're trying to improve that. Plus, there has been some projects that we've been involved in, like putting in a native plant garden, and also others that have just been there for a while, the food bank, etc., and their other gardens. And we're going to get some educational signs as well for the youth. So signs on the outside of the building, so people, when they come there, they know what's there. Distinguish between the food pantry and the community bike works section, and then also some instructional signs and educational signs in different parts of the building and in the outside for the youth. So yeah, really glad to get that. And they're excited about it too.
Yep.
Make good
And-
use of those funds.
And
I
with
have a
the,
question.
Yes.
So the money that you're talking about is being used for this last year's funding that didn't get used for the signs.
That's
Yeah.
Were
correct.
any new grants written for next year?
Yes. There were two
yes,
grants.
there were two. There were two new grants written, both by the Impact Club. We did request from the club, but the only ones we got were from the Impact Club. We received two grant applications. One was for a
Refugee
mentoring
Center.
program,
Mhm.
and the other one was for some supplies for the
The Refugee Center. Herb.
refugee center.
Yeah.
And while Diana and I are both on the grant committee, we are sworn to secrecy. So we are not allowed to say whether or not these grants have been approved until they're approved by Rotary International. So
Can we wink?
we'll leave it at that.
If
And
there's any excess funds, there is something that I could make a request for too, if you needed anything
Okay.
for this year now, but I don't know if it would work or not anyway, but
Well, basically, what Cindy told us was if we could come up with a project that was with the same type of scope
right.
as what existed before, which was about signage. If your project's about signage,
It's really not. It's more, and I'll tell you what it is if you want to take it offline. I can share it with you another time,
Okay.
but but it would tie into environmental things and health, because we have a mosquito issue down at the garden.
okay,
And I was suggesting that they write a grant for it, but it's like if we could write a grant for it, it might be something for next year where we supply proper water storage for everybody with proper lids, because there's a lot of people that don't have good lids, and we have a mosquito issue that keeps developing. So
all right. Well, okay, yeah, no, Cindy was pretty adamant. She did not want to give the money back. She did not want us to give the money back. And she wanted us to figure out a way to use it with something with a similar scope. And that's how we came up with this idea. So,
okay.
okay,
Yep.
all right.
Okay, so Herb and Diana, and I guess we'll get we'll get information when the 2024-2025 potential grant.
It should be sometime in June.
Right.
Once, because basically they submit the report in. I'm guessing Cindy has already submitted the report
She
because
did
she's
submit.
on her way to Singapore.
You did submit.
So we'll see.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Any other old or new business? Okay. All right, Michelle, anything you would like to add?
You're on mute.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I think you covered everything I asked.
Okay. Herb, anything else?
No.
Marlene? Gail? Diana?
No,
Okay, Ernie?
I'll have the flag project. I'll have a synopsis of the team that I think I need.
Okay,
We were talking and I printed out my notes from the project in Virginia and it actually happened to have the exact list of who did what. And so rather than reinvent the wheel, I think I'm gonna copy mostly.
Okay,
copy and paste. Okay.
good plan.
Yeah.
Amir, anything? I think he's still on.
No, nothing.
Okay, Gary?
Nope.
All right. Well, with that, I'll ask for, oh, Herb has something.
A motion to adjourn.
Voting to adjourn. Okay, yes. Anybody like to second that?
Seconded.
Gail, okay. And for our travelers, be safe and bring
Thank
us
you.
back lots of good information.
will do.
Have a wonderful time.
All right. We'll
Right.
see
You
you.
will. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Bye now.
bye now.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay.